That non-licensed person is really just helping the licensed person, but also in turn helping the client, because now it's a lot easier for the client to come to one place to get all of their coverage needs serviced.
If we know a client needs another policy or has another policy with another agent, and we are not actively working to earn that business, we are failing. Hello, everybody, Agency Performance Partners. This is Therese here, your Operations and Training Coordinator, and I am with Bobby and Steven, and we're going to talk today about insurance sales processes that anyone, even non-sales people, can do. So I'd like to start off with a story about a receptionist, a non-licensed receptionist that we had in one of our offices. She was fabulous. She was, an extrovert. She was great with the clients. She was our first impressions person. And when people would walk in the door, she knew everything about them. She knew what they were paying because they visit her every month for 15 years. The great thing is she's got her own policy. She's been there for 15 years. She knows the importance of insurance coverage and covering our assets. She had a ton of policies: home, auto, life, umbrella, her husband, commercial policies, pet insurance. One of the things I noticed she would do a lot is she would start talking to the client about her situation with her children or her grandchildren, and she would share stuff that had to do with policies. And it was fabulous because it would make the client think, oh, well, this person has a policy, so maybe I should look into that. So what story, Steven, do you have a story of someone who was a non-salesperson that did sales or could do sales?
Yeah, we always train the front office people or the CSRs, the non-licensed team, to always ask about other policies. So sometimes it'd be like March or April, we'd always ask, do you have any toys, boats, ATVs, motorcycles? Spring's coming, what do you got? And that was just part of the conversation of making a payment or figuring out what the client needed. Unless, of course, it was claims or a super sensitive subject. At that point, they would move that along. But I think anytime the client's calling in, we can inquire about other things or other products. My favorite one especially was, do you rent your own? Monoline auto. Anytime somebody goes with monoline auto was, I have a box that pops up. I just want to fill in. Do you rent your own? Or if they were feeling extra spicy that day, they'd be like, cool, you rent? I'm going to get you somebody to talk to you about a rental policy. Maybe we can get you a discount on your auto.
And they wouldn't even ask.
And they wouldn't even ask. No, I think that sometimes we just have to take it and move with it and make the magic happen before we even get a yes. It's like, ask a question and be like, great, you rent? I'm going to get you somebody that might be able to get your discount.
Awesome. What about you, Bobby?
Yeah. So for a couple of years, I worked for a bank-owned agency and I sat in a mortgagee office. I was the insurance person in the mortgagee office. And so the mortgage brokers, their job is to work loans. And so they were more concerned about loans. And so I was there, but I would help them learn how to get that information that I would need to create a well-rounded client. And so as long as they know the value and what I have to offer and what I have to sell, not only are we looking for the home, but we're also looking for the auto or any commercial coverages. As soon as they discover the value in what it is that we're providing, then we can really create that 360 client. And they didn't have to talk about coverage. They just needed to know what it was that we were looking for and then how to get them to the right person.
I came from the teaching world. So I was a teacher for 12 years. And when I got into this industry, I'm like, I am not a salesperson. I don't sell. But then I realized, wait a minute. I don't have to sell. I can teach or educate the client about those coverages. So it's not really selling. So you've got people out there that see the sales word and they're like, sales. No, I can't do sales. I don't know anything about sales. I can't do sales. No sales. And you've got a service team that technically service can be easier. Service can be so much easier because it's just these tasks that you do over and over again that you know how to do them. But when sales, there's more of a, I don't know scenario where they may not know how to answer something. So, they look at services like, oh, that's the easy stuff. And then they look at sales like, so what would you do with staff that say, I don't do sales? I don't do sales. What would you say?
I think we have to find their comfort level and get them over that mindset. I mean, obviously, sometimes they get so stuck in, I'm not selling, I'm not licensed, I can't sell, I'm not licensed, I can't sell. And we're like, cool, you're not selling. You're literally asking a question and handing it off. And if the client says no, the client says no, or find ways that make them comfortable in asking the question.
And I think all we're really doing is just helping. I think we have to take it from the standpoint of service. When we see that there's a coverage gap, or we see that a client doesn't have a policy that maybe they need, or maybe might be with another agent, that non-licensed person is really just helping the licensed person, but also in turn helping the client, because now it's a lot easier for the client to come to one place to get all of their coverage needs serviced. So we're really just helping them buy it.
And if we take a step back to the basics, like one of my favorite things we talk about in sales is like, if you could paint a big sign on your window that says now taking new clients, right? People would be like, oh, you need referrals, like you're taking new business. But sometimes we have to make it that simple for the client. Be like, did you know that we're taking new clients right now? Do you have anybody you could refer? That could lead to a sale. Another one of my favorites is, did you know we also offer auto? And literally just wait and see what the client does. And client's like, yeah. You could be like, then why isn't it with that? Or
Right.
where's it at? Right? Like, Captain Obvious question. But if they don't, that's how the client learns. And a lot of times I think that we know what we offer, but our clients don't know what we offer. We do a horrible job about talking about things that we don't already have for them, or that they're not specifically calling.
I think you're so right, Stephen. Like, we do such a bad job at educating our clients because we put it into that bucket of, oh, this is a sale, or I'm trying to sell someone something. All I'm doing is offering to help. If I offer you to help you, it's just, think about it as the bagger at the grocery store. I always decline the bagger at the grocery store to walk out my bags to my car. But I had a shoulder surgery a few years ago that I needed that help. And so then I took it, but they never stop asking me. They still ask me every time I come in, just they know I'm going to decline their request. But that one time that I'm going to take them up and say, yes, I need your help.
Well, we never know when they've had a bad experience with another agency or with another
Exactly.
policy as well. So just sometimes asking the question could trigger and be like, oh my God, I had the worst experience at XYZ. And yes, can you take care of that for me? Well, I can't, but I can get you something that can.
Right.
Yeah.
So there are so many opportunities out there. And I noticed, sometimes the beggars, they don't ask anymore. So that's another thing. If you don't ask, you can't get a no. So the first step is asking. And people who are not necessarily in sales, they can help with cross-sell. They can help with upsells. They can help to get people on EFT and pay in full. They can help get referrals. They can help get reviews, and they can share stories. The best time is when you ask somebody who really, they're not into sales, they're in the service industry or receptionist, whatever you want to call them, and they start talking about insurance because they have those policies themselves. And I love it because they build so much rapport with the client, and then they talk about their own policies and they're selling them without even realizing they're selling them. And it's also great to give incentives to those people. So if they do pass a policy over to a sales agent, now every single one they pass over doesn't necessarily mean that they get something, but if policies are written off of cross sells that they handed over to somebody, you could say you get 5 written policies from this person and you get an incentive. It could be, an Amazon gift card. It could be depending on what the agency does. But giving them incentives as well for those cross sells is an excellent way to do it because they see value in that. Like, well, if I'm giving him all these policies and he's writing 10 policies, I'm not getting anything for it. I'm just not going to give him any policies anymore. So you have to avoid that attitude as well. So you have to look for ways to incentivize them to get them to pass these policies over. And a big quote I put in there is, if we know a client needs another policy or has another policy with another agent, and we are not actively working to earn that business, we are failing. We are failing. We need to make sure that we're asking clients for other business. And that sales word can be so scary. It can be so scary, but it really isn't as hard as some people make it out to be. when you use stories and you connect to a client and you're building that rapport and you know the client. Every month they come in to pay their auto and you've never asked them if they rent or own their home and then their home burns down. How would you feel about that?
I think the other thing we have to remember too, Therese, is that we're protecting our agency when we're doing that. We're asking for those additional lines of business so that way the client is aware that we offer that coverage and we write that coverage and we've offered it to them. And now we've documented the file. We've made sure that we've protected our agency coverage increases and additional lines of business. And so everyone in the agency needs to understand that they are all part of that, whether they're licensed or unlicensed, and everyone can help in that way to protect the agency.
Well, and when we all first started in this industry, we had this passion to do this, to educate people, to sell, to service, whatever it is that we got into. We had to have some kind of passion. And when that passion goes away, we need to figure out why. We need to really if we're in an insurance agency, we're there to build and grow. We're not just there to get a paycheck. And that's these days, that has come up a lot. Well, I'm just here to get a paycheck. And if you're there just to get a paycheck, is it really worth being there? You really need to build up that passion and find something that you enjoy in the agency that helps you help the agency grow, because that's the whole goal of an agency is you want that agency to grow and strive and get better. And if you're part of that agency as it grows, you reap the benefits with the agent by seeing it flourish and just get bigger and have more clients and building more rapport. So any final comments?
I actually have two other things I want to think about.
Awesome.
Ooh, sorry.
No,
First one, swag, like logo wear.
Yeah.
Easy way for non-licensed staff to cross-sell, right? Literally, they're out and about. They're at the grocery store. They're against a baseball game, whatever that might be. Pay client deposit, yes. But somebody sees their sweatshirt and they're like, oh, you work at XYZ agency. Tell me more. Or they're like, oh, do you do health insurance? Do you do auto insurance? Do you do whatever? I'm at the car dealer today getting my car service and my oil change. And the guy's like, what's your email address? So I give it to him. And he's like, oh, what kind of insurance do you do? And I was like, haha, actually, I'm a trainer. So I go all across the US, but I used to do auto, home, boat, commercial, blah, blah, blah. He's like, oh, that would have been a great connection for us. Like, because they sell cars all day long, right? So even if you're just wearing logo wear, sometimes it can start a conversation and you don't have to be licensed to be like, cool, well, I can get your number and have somebody call you. Or building that relationship, I think, is easy when it's noticeable. So I keep putting up my church on the logo on, but like logo wear.
Yes.
And the other one to really think about is an incentive plan. It doesn't always have to be money. Different things are important to different people. So I think we have to know our staff and what motivates them. There was times where I would offer to throw $100. I'd be like, I'll give $100. Or when we were trying to do a promotion or write business somewhere. And it was cricket. I'd be like, I'll let you leave an hour early on Friday. And the phones were on fire, right? And me on the business side, I'm like, 1 hour of time or $100. Like I would take the $100 and pay for a few hours of time, my own time, right? But people don't always look at it like that. Or sometimes they like lunch or nails done, salon time, a massage. So sometimes we have to look at some of those outside of the box things too to find out what really motivates the team to get them selling. It's not always money. Sometimes it's recognition. Sometimes it's an incentive.
I agree, Stephen. And I think that really helps to build your agency's culture too, when you're not just incentivizing staff on money and when we're bringing other incentives to the table, be it team fun days or, somebody gets to leave a little bit early or they get an extra floating holiday for a really great job well done. We really want to be incentivizing a job well done because that just encourages people to continue to do that. And those other people that see that job well done being incentivized are encouraged by that as well.
Well, and it brings that passion back that's missing sometimes. Sometimes just having some fun with the people you work with, because we're with people we work with more than we are with our families half the time. So we need to make sure that we're excited and helping those agencies grow. Thanks so much, you guys, for talking about the process of sales that any non-salesperson can do. We appreciate it. And thanks for watching agencyperformancepartners.com. Check us out. book an intro call, we're here and ready to help your agency improve in many different aspects. Thanks so much. Bye, guys.
Thanks, guys.
Bye-bye.